Have you ever woken up with a pounding headache, a tight chest, or a strange tingling in your face or arm after a healthy late-night fruit snack? If that scares you, you're not alone. Many seniors feel dizzy or off balance in the morning and don't know why. That's not just normal aging. For some people over 60, the wrong fruit eaten at the wrong time can spike blood sugar, dehydrate you overnight, or even clash with common heart and stroke medications, quietly increasing stroke risk while you sleep. The good news: you don't need new pills or expensive treatments. Simple timing tweaks, smart pairings, and safer swaps can protect your brain and blood vessels. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to avoid fruits to avoid for stroke risk, choose high glycemic fruits for seniors more wisely, and understand grapefruit medication interactions, plus what to eat instead. We'll cover 9 common fruits that can be risky for certain seniors, the science behind those risks, and easy, evidence-based habits to keep your blood pressure steady, your hydration right, and your brain safe. Everything here is practical, doctor-informed, and simple to follow, even if you're just starting today. Quick question before we dive in. Which fruit do you most often eat at night? Banana, mango, watermelon, grapes, or something else? Drop it in the comments so I can tailor the tips to you. All right, let's begin with the one neurologists worry about most: the popular breakfast fruit that can quietly interfere with common heart and stroke medications, and what to use instead. 1. Bananas, the potassium overload. Let's start with one of the most common healthy snacks: bananas. They're soft, easy to digest, and full of nutrients, so it's no wonder many seniors eat them daily without a second thought. But here's the problem. Bananas are packed with potassium, and while potassium is essential, too much can be harmful, especially for older adults. As we age, kidney function often slows down, meaning excess potassium isn't flushed out as quickly. When potassium builds up in the blood, a condition called hyperkalemia, it can quietly disrupt your heart's electrical signals, cause dangerous irregular rhythms, tighten blood vessels, and increase clot formation. Combine that with certain medications like ACE inhibitors or diuretics, which already raise potassium levels, and the risk climbs sharply. I've seen cases where this combination became the silent trigger for a stroke. One patient, Mr. Raymond, enjoyed a large banana every morning for years, but with his kidney function declining and his medication affecting potassium balance, his levels spiked. One morning, he woke up dizzy and unable to speak clearly. He was having a stroke, caused in part by excess potassium. I share this not to scare you away from bananas forever, but to help you make informed choices. Food should be a friend, not a hidden threat. You deserve to enjoy what you eat without silently increasing your stroke risk. If you love bananas, you don't have to give them up completely. For most seniors, half a banana in the morning, paired with protein like Greek yogurt or eggs, can be safe. But always check with your doctor if you're on potassium-affecting medication or have kidney concerns. This small adjustment could mean the difference between a healthy breakfast and a dangerous potassium overload. Now that we've seen how one innocent fruit can become risky, let's talk about another sweet favorite that seems refreshing but can dehydrate your brain overnight and raise stroke risk in surprising ways. 2. Grapes, a sugar bomb. Next, let's look at another fruit that seems harmless: grapes. They're bite-sized, refreshing, and so easy to snack on that it's common to finish an entire bunch without realizing it. The trouble is, grapes are loaded with natural sugars, both glucose and fructose, that enter your bloodstream very quickly. For younger people with strong insulin responses, this isn't usually a big problem. But for seniors, especially those with slower insulin release or insulin resistance, that sugar rush can put significant stress on blood vessels. When blood sugar spikes sharply, it triggers inflammation in the inner lining of your arteries. Over time, this inflammation can stiffen those vessels, make them less elastic, and increase the chance of tiny clots forming. If those clots block blood flow to the brain, the result can be a transient ischemic attack, TIA, or even a full stroke. I once saw this happen to Mrs. Jeanette Morris, a 72-year-old woman who loved grapes so much she kept a bowl on her kitchen counter year-round. She believed they were a perfect guilt-free snack, but daily unchecked sugar spikes and the resulting vascular inflammation eventually led to a TIA, her warning sign that something had to change. This doesn't mean you must give up grapes forever. It means respecting your body's limits. Food is not just about taste. It's about how it interacts with your health today and for years to come. You deserve to enjoy sweetness without risking your brain's well-being. If you love grapes, have a small handful instead of a whole bunch, and pair them with a protein source like cheese, nuts, or Greek yogurt to slow sugar absorption. But if you have diabetes or take certain medications, it may be best to avoid them altogether, because sometimes even nature's smallest fruits can deliver the biggest surprises to your health. Now, let's move to another fruit that looks tropical and energizing, yet can quietly push your blood pressure higher and make your arteries more vulnerable overnight. 3. Pineapple, acid and sugar combo. Now let's talk about a tropical fruit many people see as the symbol of health and vitality, the pineapple. Its bright color, juicy sweetness, and refreshing taste make it a favorite in fruit salads, juices, and desserts. But for seniors, especially at night, pineapple can be a risky choice. It contains bromelain, a natural enzyme that can interfere with blood clotting, along with a high glycemic index that sends sugar rushing into the bloodstream. And its acidity can silently trigger reflux during sleep, reducing oxygen flow to the brain. When bromelain interacts with blood-thinning medications, it can make it harder for your blood to clot properly, raising the risk of internal bleeding if a vessel is damaged. The sugar spike from pineapple stresses aging blood vessels, promoting inflammation and stiffness. Meanwhile, if its acidity triggers nighttime reflux, stomach acid can travel up the esophagus, irritating airways and slightly lowering oxygen levels in the blood, something the brain is extremely sensitive to. I recall Mrs. Clara Hughes, a 69-year-old who enjoyed fresh pineapple every night as a healthy dessert. Over time, her combination of nightly sugar spikes, bromelain effects, and reflux episodes contributed to a perfect storm. One evening, after weeks of mild dizziness and fatigue, she suffered a stroke, linked in part to her pineapple habit. The goal here isn't to make you fear pineapple, but to empower you with knowledge. You can still enjoy its vibrant flavor, just in a way that works with your body, not against it. For most seniors, the safest approach is to enjoy pineapple in small portions earlier in the day, paired with a protein or healthy fat to slow sugar absorption, and avoid it completely if you're on blood-thinning medications. That small timing change could protect your brain and keep your blood vessels healthy. Speaking of tropical favorites, there's another fruit that's often called nature's candy, but its potassium and sugar combination can quietly push your heart and brain to the edge. Let's uncover what it is next. 4. Watermelon, a dehydration risk. Finally, let's talk about a summertime favorite, watermelon. Its juicy sweetness and refreshing bite make it the go-to fruit for hot days, and many people believe it's the ultimate way to stay hydrated. While watermelon is mostly water, it can have a surprising diuretic effect, meaning it makes you urinate more often. For seniors, especially those on diuretics or with heart problems, this can lead to dehydration without you even realizing it. When the body becomes dehydrated, your blood thickens slightly, making it harder to circulate smoothly through your vessels. This slower flow can encourage tiny clots to form, and if one of those clots travels to the brain, it can trigger a stroke. I remember Mr. Howard Larkin, a 74-year-old man who enjoyed a big bowl of watermelon every night after dinner. He also took heart medication that already had a mild diuretic effect. Over time, the combination of his medication and the extra fluid loss from watermelon left him mildly dehydrated most nights. One morning, after waking with dizziness and blurred vision, he was rushed to the hospital. Doctors confirmed he had suffered a stroke linked to dehydration. This story isn't meant to make you fear watermelon. It's to remind you that even the most hydrating foods can have hidden effects when combined with certain health conditions or medications. Your goal should be balance, not elimination. If you love watermelon, enjoy it earlier in the day. and pair it with electrolyte-rich foods like coconut water, a pinch of sea salt, or even a small handful of nuts to help your body retain the fluids you take in. And always check with your doctor if you're on diuretics or heart medications. A simple timing change could turn this summer treat into a safe, heart-friendly pleasure. Now that we've uncovered how even hydrating fruits can backfire, let's move on to a fruit whose sweet tart flavor hides a unique interaction with blood pressure and why it could matter for your brain health. 5. Oranges. Medication interactions. Let's turn to a fruit most of us associate with vitamin C, fresh mornings, and immune support: the orange. Whether in juice form or eaten fresh, it's a breakfast table classic for millions of people. But hidden beneath its sweet, tangy taste is a compound called furanocoumarins. This natural chemical can interfere with enzymes in your liver that break down certain medications, including common statins for cholesterol and blood thinners used to prevent clots. When these enzymes are blocked, the medication can build up to higher levels in your blood than intended, leading to potential toxicity, or in other cases, making the drug less effective. For heart and stroke patients, this imbalance can destabilize blood flow, increase bleeding risk, or allow dangerous clots to form. I remember Mr. Elmer Bryant, a 68-year-old who drank a tall glass of fresh orange juice every morning. Unaware of the interaction, he continued this habit while taking his prescribed statin and blood thinner. Over time, the elevated medication levels put excessive strain on his circulatory system. One afternoon, he experienced sudden weakness on one side of his body. He was having a stroke, linked to the combined effects of his medication and daily orange juice. This isn't about banning oranges from your life. It's about understanding how certain foods interact with the medicines that protect you. You deserve the peace of mind that comes from knowing your diet is working with your treatment, not against it. If you're on medications like statins or blood thinners, enjoy oranges only occasionally, opt for lower-risk citrus such as clementines, and always talk to your doctor or pharmacist about potential food-drug interactions. That one simple step could protect your brain and prevent a life-changing event. Next, we'll look at a fruit often celebrated for its antioxidants, yet its hidden effects on blood pressure can create the perfect storm for a stroke if you're not careful. 6. Apples. Hidden sugar trap. Let's move on to one of the most beloved and innocent fruits, the apple. It's often called nature's perfect snack, and many people, especially seniors, eat one every day believing it's a cornerstone of good health. But not all apples are the same. Popular varieties like Fuji, Honeycrisp, and Gala are naturally high in sugar. For aging bodies, especially those with slower insulin responses, these sugars can enter the bloodstream rapidly, spiking blood sugar levels and straining blood vessels. When blood sugar rises quickly, it can cause tiny injuries to the delicate inner lining of your arteries. Over time, this damage leads to inflammation, stiffness, and a higher likelihood of clot formation. For someone already managing insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, this creates the perfect conditions for a stroke. I think of Mrs. Louise Hammond, a 71-year-old who loved starting her mornings with a large Honeycrisp apple on an empty stomach. She thought it was the healthiest way to begin her day. But the repeated daily sugar surges gradually worsened her insulin resistance and damaged her blood vessels. One afternoon, she experienced sudden vision changes and weakness in her hand, a minor stroke her doctors linked, in part, to years of unbalanced fruit sugar intake. This isn't about giving up apples. It's about making smart swaps. You can still enjoy their crunch and flavor, but in a way that supports your brain and heart health. The safest choice for seniors is to go for lower sugar varieties like Granny Smith. Pair them with a source of protein or healthy fat such as almond butter or cheese, and avoid eating them on an empty stomach. That small change can help you keep apples as a daily joy without silently increasing your stroke risk. Up next, we'll talk about a fruit often added to smoothies for its tropical sweetness, yet it hides a digestive effect that can subtly raise blood pressure and strain brain circulation. 7. There's 7 cherries, blood-thinning risks. Now, let's talk about a fruit that's small, beautiful, and bursting with flavor. The cherry. Many people enjoy them as a summertime treat or a sweet way to end the day, thinking they're one of the healthiest fruits you can eat. But cherries contain a natural compound called salicylates, which acts similarly to aspirin by thinning the blood. For many people, this can have heart protective benefits, but for seniors already taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin or aspirin, the combination can make the blood too thin. When blood becomes overly thin, it can increase the risk of internal bleeding, including hemorrhagic strokes, where a blood vessel in the brain bursts and leaks blood into surrounding tissue. I recall Mr. Daniel Rhodes, a 70-year-old who loved snacking on cherries every night. He was also on a prescribed blood thinner for his heart condition. Over time, the cumulative effect of his medication and the salicylates in cherries made his blood so thin that one evening, a small blood vessel in his brain ruptured. He suffered a brain bleed that could have been prevented with simple dietary awareness. The point here isn't to fear cherries forever, it's to understand that even healthy foods can have powerful medicinal effects, which need to be balanced with your current health and treatments. You deserve to enjoy fruit without unknowingly increasing your risk of a life-threatening event. If you're taking blood thinners, enjoy cherries only occasionally and in small portions, and always consult your doctor about whether they're safe for you. That small conversation could save you from a dangerous brain bleed while still letting you enjoy these little bursts of sweetness. Finally, let's look at a fruit often praised for its tropical flavor and digestive benefits, but one that hides a surprising impact on blood pressure and circulation that seniors need to know about. 8. Strawberries, pesticides, and purines. Now let's turn to a fruit that's bright, sweet, and often linked with summer memories. Strawberries. From smoothies to salads, they're everywhere, and many believe they're one of the healthiest fruits you can add to your diet. But strawberries come with 2 hidden risks for seniors: pesticide residues and purines. Conventionally grown strawberries often rank among the highest in pesticide contamination, and over time, these chemicals can accumulate in the body. For older adults whose detox systems may be slower, this can have damaging effects on the brain's blood vessels. Many of these pesticide residues have neurotoxic properties, meaning they can weaken the walls of small blood vessels in the brain, making them more vulnerable to rupture or clot formation. On top of that, strawberries naturally contain purines, compounds that break down into uric acid in the body. High uric acid levels can fuel inflammation, damage blood vessel linings, and increase the risk of both clots and gout attacks. I remember Mrs. Elaine Carter, a 73-year-old who loved ending her dinners with a generous bowl of strawberries. She had mild kidney issues and occasional joint pain, but thought strawberries were a guilt-free dessert. Over time, the combination of pesticide buildup, high purine intake, and her existing health conditions contributed to vascular inflammation. One morning, she collapsed from a stroke that doctors linked, in part, to these factors. This isn't to say you must give up strawberries forever. It's about making safer choices so you can still enjoy them without hidden harm. You deserve to enjoy their flavor while protecting your brain and heart. If you love strawberries, choose organic whenever possible to reduce pesticide exposure, keep portions moderate, and avoid them entirely if you have gout or kidney problems. These small changes can let you enjoy this sweet fruit while keeping your circulation and brain health strong. And finally, let's reveal the last fruit on our list. A tropical favorite whose unique texture hides a cardiovascular effect most people never suspect. 9. Mango, sugar, and medication interference. Finally, let's talk about a fruit that feels like pure sunshine: the mango. Its golden flesh, tropical aroma, and rich sweetness make it a favorite across the world, often enjoyed fresh in smoothies or dried as a snack. But for seniors, especially those managing heart or blood pressure conditions, mango carries 2 hidden risks: its high sugar content and a natural compound called mangaferin. The sugar can cause rapid spikes in blood glucose, while mangaferin may interfere with how the liver processes certain medications. When blood sugar spikes, it can strain aging blood vessels, triggering inflammation and making them more prone to damage. At the same time, if mangoferin slows the breakdown of medications like statins, beta-sleepers, or blood thinners, drug levels in the body can become too high. This can lead to dizziness, unstable blood pressure, or even a higher stroke risk. I think of Mr. William Booker, a 69-year-old who enjoyed dried mango slices every evening. Because dried mango is concentrated, the sugar load was far higher than he realized. Combined with mangoferin's interaction with his heart medication, this created a dangerous imbalance. One afternoon, he collapsed from a stroke. His doctors later found that his medication levels were elevated, in part due to his nightly mango habit. The lesson here isn't to ban mango from your plate, it's to enjoy it mindfully, with full awareness of your health and medications. You deserve to savor its sweetness without risking your brain and heart. If you love mango, have it in small portions during the day, pair it with protein or healthy fat to slow sugar absorption, and always consult your doctor if you're on heart or blood pressure medications. These simple steps can keep mango a safe tropical pleasure rather than a hidden danger. Now that we've gone through all 9 fruits that can quietly raise your stroke risk, let's bring it all together with simple, science-backed steps you can start today to protect your brain and circulation for years to come. As we get older, our bodies process food differently, and even fruits we've always considered healthy, like bananas, grapes, or mangoes, can quietly raise the risk of a stroke. But here's the hopeful part. By learning about these hidden dangers, making small swaps, and timing our fruit intake wisely, we can keep our brains sharp, our hearts strong, and our independence intact. You don't have to give up the foods you love. You just need to enjoy them in a way that works with your body, not against it. Knowledge is power, and mindful eating is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools we have to protect our future. So, tell me in the comments, what's one change you'll make starting today to keep your brain healthy? Let's share, learn, and encourage each other to live wisely and fully.